battle of higher spiritual beings, we are sometimes forced to take active or passionate actions for our protection and to ward off hostile forces. However, such actions are only for extreme emergency in the context of our worldly existence, as it is impossible to avoid all spiritual influences. That being said, we have not been created to tolerate and suffer under hostile spiritual forces. This is not to say that we must ruthlessly destroy everything that opposes our will or mold it to our will with fire and sword. Every life on earth, no matter what, should be holy to you. There are sparks of the world soul in all of them. Be the lord of nature, but not a tyrant, for only such rule by force. But you must be a faithful disciple of light and love when practicing what we will teach you. The ancients taught that men have two separate and quite different natures. The one is perishable and also described as the astral soul or the inner fluidic body. The other is the incorruptible and immortal soul, also known as the flame of the divine spirit. The mortal or astral soul was seen as that part of man that perishes after physical death. The astral man, although intangible and invisible as he might be to our mortal earthly senses, was still seen as a constituted of matter. The immortal soul, after the astral soul perishes, moves on to reunite with the divine spirit. All of this implies the existence of multiple planes in which the different natures exist and can be exposed to attacks. Clearly, the physical body is exposed to physical attack by other people on the earthly plane. Similarly, the astral body is subject to attack from beings on the astral plane. In the short course on spiritual defense, we cover the nature of spiritual attacks in detail. In this introduction, we will not be able to discuss energy and vibration, which is central to a discussion on spiritual attack. For the benefit of the viewer, we do want to mention the importance of maintaining a balance in your energy body at all times. To clean yourself from negative energy, we need to purify the energy collection areas in our bodies. This happens naturally during sleep, when the bodily senses are eliminated. When the disturbance is such that we struggle to sleep, a second method must be used to balance your own vibration. In the course, we will cover the specific exercises to do so. In the closing lessons of the course, we also cover attack by beings on the astral plane. The astral plane has various kinds of inhabitants. First of all, there are the deceased ones, who having left the earth are abiding in the corresponding density degree of their maturity. The nobler, purer, and more perfect an entity happens to be, or the purer and finer will be the density degree of the inhabited astral plane. Besides the deceased, the astral plane is inhabited by many other beings, of which I am mentioning only some species that are relevant to our discussion. There are the so-called elementaries, entities with one or only few qualities, according to the dominant vibrations of the elements. They are living on the level of similar vibrations to that of man and feed off these vibrations or energy radiated by him. Among them, there are some which have already reached a certain degree of intelligence, and some magicians are using these low-developed beings for their selfish purposes. These beings, which include the so-called larvae, are brought into life consciously or unconsciously by intense emotional thinking through the astral matrix. Using the analogy of ants on the physical plane, the effect of larvae can be easily understood. If you leave sugar out near an ant nest, you will see them swarming there in a feeding frenzy. The same effect can be magically achieved by those who bind a man to these larvae on the astral plane. The unfortunate soul will be covered in a mountain of larvae, which will not only feed on his energy, but who will also lead him down a path of passions, that may destroy him utterly. The effects of this kind of attack is the only way in which we become aware that something is wrong. The noted effects are usually seen in addictions, broken relationships, sickness, and financial ruin. For the victim, the experience is one where he will notice an increase in emotional responses that is unusual for the person and not based on logic. In extreme cases, you will see the kindest of people committing terrible crimes completely contrary to their nature. We conclude the course by providing the tool to free yourself from spiritual attack in detail. This concludes our background video on the short course on defense against the spiritual attack. You can subscribe for the course at the Franz Baden Academy website. Blessings to you.